Do you want to know the strategies I use to study for the TOEFL and avoid wasting time and money searching for miracle solutions out there? Then stay here with me and I'll share with you everything I know. Hey guys, welcome to Nova Tips. I'm Leo Nova, and today I'm gonna talk about the strategies for studying for the TOEFL. If you wanna watch this video 100% in Portuguese, just click on the link up here. Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions from you regarding my presentation for the TOEFL. You seem particularly interested to know why I end up having to take the test 4 times. Well, the reason why I had to retake the TOEFL so many times is actually the same that led me to make these videos. Like I mentioned to you before in previous videos, I prepared for the TOEFL on my own, and the amount of misinformation out there regarding the TOEFL made it difficult for me to find the most effective method to prepare for it right away. Let's just say that my search involved a lot of trial and error. By all means, that does not mean that the method I found is the best, because I think everyone eventually comes up with their own strategy to study for any given test at one point. But what I'm sure is that you can learn from my mistakes, and the tips I'm going to share here with you will definitely be of help. I'm positive that my preparation for the TOEFL would have been not only more effective, but also less painful if I had come across videos like this one here at the very beginning. First, let's get the financial investment out of the way. The first thing we all normally do when preparing for such a test is to buy a bunch of resources to study, right? Well, I most definitely fell into the same trap. My recommendation instead is to wait. Don't go buying any resource just yet.
What? Are you out of your mind, Nova? How am I going to prepare for such a test without any study material?
I didn't say that you won't have any material to study. I simply said that you shouldn't start buying them frantically in hopes of having a good grade on the exam. Just bear here with me for a minute and I'll tell you all about my missteps preparing for the TOEFL. The first time I studied for the test, I invested on an online service, which was actually pretty good, by the way. It helped me understand the test and prepare myself for it to a certain degree. I hired this specific service for 1 month only. It was all I could afford at the moment and also cheaper than the official TOEFL material anyways. I strongly believe that it was good enough, and maybe if I had studied a bit more, I would have had better results. Anyways, I'll never know now, right? About my second attempt, since I didn't succeed with the first service I hired, it's obvious that as a human being, I blamed it for my failure. That's how our brain works, right? Instead of taking ownership for our mistakes, we'll always find someone else to blame. So, for my second attempt at tackling the TOEFL, I opted for books that were referred by a person here on YouTube. According to her, they were the key to scoring higher. Considering that books were still cheaper than the official TOEFL material, I decided to give them a shot. However, to my disappointment, they ended up not helping me that much. I still have them here, by the way, cluttering my bookshelves. I've tried selling them on eBay, but nobody seems to want to buy them. Third attempt. Well, after that, I said to myself, if you want to do your best, go for the best. So I did. I bought the official TOEFL material. Finally! And my personal experience using this? Total and complete disappointment. I found the material very superficial, expensive, with little to no help, and on top of that, I found exactly the same content for free on the internet. I spent $70 for nothing. Obviously, I felt like a sucker, right? The results? Again, 1 or 2 points behind here and there. Anyway, time to move on. I started working on my final strategy. I was about to take the test for the 4th time. So I said to myself, that's enough. I've spent far too much money already. I'm done buying materials and services online. So I'm just going to search the internet to find what resources out there are helpful and yet free. That's when I came across the highest quality material 100% for free. And once again, I felt like a sucker for having previously spent so much money on materials, not to mention paying for the registration fee 4 times. At that time, my expenses with the test already amounted to over $1,000. If you cannot afford or are simply not willing to spend money on the results and or services online, given that the TOEFL is already pretty expensive on its own, I highly recommend studying using these free online resources. If you need help finding the right links, make sure to leave your comment below and I'll help you out, okay? Come on, for this tip alone, I already deserve your thumbs up, right? However, if you are not 100% confident in yourself and need some extra help, then what I do recommend is having a qualified tutor to give you all the support you need to achieve your desired grade. Just be careful, because knowing English alone is not enough for someone to be a good tutor, okay? If you don't know any tutors or don't want to take chances with a stranger, I highly recommend Anaguinle, a professional who is more than qualified to help you. Her contact email is down here in the description. Look, this is very subjective because, bottom line, the amount of time you should devote studying depends on several factors. The very first time I took the TOEFL, I was also studying for 7 other tests all at once. I only have a month to pass them all, by the way. So, I applied for the all 8 tests and studied for them in less than a month. The results, you ask? I got the grades I needed in only 4 of them and failed to score what I needed in the other 4, including the TOEFL. From then on, I decided to study for 1 exam at a time, so I devoted the following 2 months to prepare myself just for the TOEFL. During these 2 months, I decided to not push myself too hard because, my results on the TOEFL were good. I was only 1 point behind my goal, so I concluded it wouldn't require that much effort to get where I wanted. So I decided to take it easy and study 8 to 10 hours a week. By the way, this is definitely not my advice to you, okay? This is the strategy I used and boy, oh boy, I was wrong. What I would suggest is studying consistently 1 to 2 hours every day and do what I call a full practice test once a week.
Nova, what is this full test practice we are going on about?
Well, the test is about 3.5 hours long, right? It's a long time to be sitting on a chair, not being able to eat freely or even take a break whenever you want. So my advice to you is get used to it. Take a moment on your weekend or anytime you are able to dedicate yourself and simulate taking the entire test. Turn your phone off and don't let anyone interrupt you. If you're not used to long periods without eating on the day of the exam, have a good breakfast and grab something to eat on the 10 minutes break. Me, personally, I started to do intermittent fasting to get used to long periods without eating. In fact, it worked so well that I still do it today. More for aesthetic reasons than for passing the test. So, pay attention to your needs when taking this practice test, because on the actual day of the test, you won't be able to go out to pee or eating anything, for instance, except during the 10 minutes break. Anyway, there is no bulletproof strategy for scoring high on the TOEFL. These tips here that I'm sharing with you were the key to get me the results I needed, and I honestly hope that they will help you reach the score you need as well.
Is there anything you regret in your preparation, Nova? Would you have done anything differently?
That's a good question. I think, yeah, there are a few things I would have done differently. I would have invested on a tutor to monitor my development instead of wasting so much money on random resources online for one. The biggest struggle I had was not knowing if I was on the right track. Although I was already living here in the US and taking classes in a college, I wasn't 100% sure of anything. I still make several mistakes with grammar, spelling, pronunciation, as you may have noticed, all of which take years and years to improve. If I'd had a tutor by my side back then, as I have anaguinle now assisting me with these videos in English, I think my preparation would have been much more effective and less wasteful. If you're interested, her contact details are down here in the video description, okay? Well, thanks for watching, but before you go, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and of course, leave your comments below, alright? See you later!